So today was a very volatile day for the market. The market, went up, went down. It was just kind of choppy all over the place, and it ended up negative. And this is the S&P 500 for you. So we're going to analyze the markets from a price action technical perspective, and just give you a little more insights into how did the S&P 500, NASDAQ perform. We'll look into the futures of it. We'll also look into Bitcoin. We'll look into the Forex. We'll look into bonds, and just give you an overall perspective of like how is everything performing as a whole and what's in store for the rest of this week. So with that, let's look into the S&P 500. This is the micro futures here in front of me. But as you can see, like on the daily time frame, it took a double bottom, and it's kind of making a positive gain since then. And if you remember my video yesterday, it did talk about it having a possibility of just resting for some time on this level, because it's taken a big positive gain up above this level, and it's just kind of like in no man's land right now. So it did look positive in making a good solid gain from the consolidation that we saw, but it's still indecisive, and that's something that we were expecting from the market. So just keep an eye on this. Make sure that the market is showing resilience and is positive, and is actually tomorrow as well. Only if the market is positive and trends higher, that's a good time to like get into it. But if the market shows weakness and is correcting itself and possibly going down from here, it could possibly be a good time to step away from the market or start short selling the market. But wait for the candle to close either above or below. So this candle should close below if you would like to get into the market at this level. Don't either buy or sell when it's actually at the 50-period moving average line. So that's something I would advise you against. Now the futures on the weekly time frame really doesn't tell us too much. It's still, we are at hump day today, which is the middle of the week, but it's still not showing me too much. It's still on the 10-period moving average line. Can't really forecast to tell you, is it moving up or is it lower? It's showing you a positive direction since the bottom year, but it's hard to tell. Is it going to touch? I do feel it would touch the yellow just like it touched this year before it does anything. That's my hunch. Is that it would maybe on a daily time frame touch this, so 3912, and then head lower. That's just like my prediction. I can't really confirm and back it up, but that's just something to keep an eye on. Does it touch this on an intraday basis and then probably head lower? So not too much of positive momentum like left in it. It's at 3853 right now. Probably go to 3915, 3916, and then it may turn down again. So keep that in mind as you are planning your trades. Planning, again, very important. Next one, let's look at the NASDAQ. So I'm going to open up not the micro, but the NASDAQ, which is the same. So the NASDAQ too, I'll quickly move into the daily time frame. It did touch the 50-period moving average line, took a breather from there and went down today. Which was something that we were expecting, that it's going to hold a 50-period moving average line. Now tomorrow, if this line is lower, that could indicate that it's starting to decline from there. So that's a sign that, okay, it's not positive or bullish enough that it crossed it, it's going to head down lower. So keep that in mind as you're trading the NASDAQ. Yes, it could be bullish, but it could also, it may be harder for it to just break through this, and if it breaks through, it may just show the similar signs as we saw for the S&P 500, where it's just kind of hovering on top of it. But something to keep in mind, like, how does NASDAQ open below, or where does NASDAQ open tomorrow? Next one on our list is, let's look at gold. So I'm going to open up gold quickly. So I have the micro gold futures here. Gold actually surprisingly did better than I was expecting. It was flat for the last 2 days, and I'm showing you. So I have like different time frames here. This is the 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, hourly, 4 hours, daily, weekly, and the monthly. And on the monthly, you could see gold's like really down. Weekly as well is down. So gold was flat for the last couple days. Like it didn't do too much. It wasn't a downtrend. It's now caught itself. It's gone and actually touched the yellow, which is a 20 moving average right now. So I'm interested in knowing, is it going to break through, or is the next candle going to start bringing gold back down lower? In the past, it has bounced down from the yellow, again yellow. So that's something to keep an eye on. It may actually decide to turn its rims around from here, or it may decide to go up from to this 50 PM moving average line as well. My inkling is that given the fact that it takes a couple bounces before it goes to the 50 moving average line. Now this is the first bounce and it's here, so there is a probability that it may just fall down from here. May. But again, do your homework. Find the right opportunity that gold's showing weakness, and then step into or step out of it. But that's just my take on gold. If you look into the weekly, it's still into the oversold territory. It's not touched this line. So what I would ideally do is that I would wait for gold to actually touch the 1693 levels before I would go ahead and short it again, given the fact that it is close to the, it's kind of like a double bottom. It's not really a double, but a lot of traders would consider this a double bottom. So if it's a double bottom, it may go to the 1693 before deciding what it needs to do next. So that could also possibly play out. So keep an eye on the weekly charts. I often recommend weekly time frames is something that you should eye out on. Now comes the crude oil, which is the CL or the MCL, which is the micro crude oil. Today was a good day, and I was surprised. I was just kind of scanning through the charts, and I saw crude oil jumped up a lot, 3.3 or 3.5% for the end of the day. So 3.47 actually, yeah. So that's a really good move. So the way it did it was flat, and again, it's so hard to predict. Okay, is it going to just go up and then fall down? And it did break up to the positive side. It did have a small closure at the end of the day there, but I would say it's really hard to trade it with these huge spike ups, because the spike ups could also be complemented by a spike down. Now, yes, on the hourly time frame, it did take a few hours for it to really climb up. So it was flat, and then it moved up, and then it took a break. So you could have gotten your at this level if you were paying attention to it at 85, and then close ship around the 87, or kept it for overnight and see if it goes on further up. I want to quickly look into the weekly. Maybe I just want to scan the daily, zoom out a little, see what's it doing. It's still not showing me a trend. It's just spiked out over the 200 moving average, but it's not showing me a trend. I personally would avoid it right now, because I need to see a trend before I could get into it. Let's see the weekly if it's showing me a trend. Weekly, zoom out. Well, it's still in the range that it's supposed to be at, not really defining a new trend like we saw here. So yeah, I personally would stay away from oil right now until it shows me a different trend. And who knows what the trend would be. Is it going to show itself right now, or it'll take some time to show it? Okay, next let's look into Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, today was another day where it's actually broken up above the 19,000 mark, went into the 20,700 mark. So that's a big new high. Is it 20,000? Yeah, 20,700 mark. So we talked about it yesterday that, okay, it's actually on the, what line is this? It's on the, I think this is the, I can't tell. One of the moving average lines, possibly the yellow, which is the or the white, which is the 10 period moving average line, but on the daily chart, and it did break out of it. But it's interesting to note that it will consolidate and touch it at some point, maybe a few candles up, and then come and touch the line again, or no. But yeah, it was just interesting to see that it broke it. Now your question would be, should I buy this now since that it broke through this massive resistance? Even on the weekly time frame, you can see it did break through this. And my caution to you is that have a look at this. It broke it, but it then again plummeted to the ground. So that could be expected. If this week is positive, next week it may plummet down, not this week, given how this is playing out. So same here, it broke out of it, and then the next week it plummeted down. So that's something that you could expect. So just be cautious on that. Okay, next on our list is, let's look at some bonds. I'm going to open up the 10-year US Treasury. So US Treasury 2, another positive day for it. Touched the yellow, which is the 20 period moving average line. And the question is this a good time to short US Treasuries? Because it followed the same suit twice in a row, touched the yellow period moving average line, and now is it going to head lower from there? It's possible. It's possible. I would look for the next candle to actually show that it's heading lower and not just kind of be there for the sake of it. So you can see this is where it is right now. A lot of times, as you can see on the weekly time frame, the candle would break itself and come up higher from there. So 1 week of gains may not be enough because of this strong downtrend that we saw. It could be second and third week, and you could see change direction on this blue line. So I would hold off on short selling this right now, given the trend that we've seen in the moving average. So that's my take. I'm trying to see if I can cover any more. I'm going to cover the Forex market as well for you, because if you're trading Forex, this is for you. If you don't trade Forex, then you could possibly look into some insights into how we apply price action into Forex. So Forex today, it did break out to the yellow, the 20 period moving average line. Yesterday we were talking about, would this yellow 20 period moving average line show or hold some kind of support? It did hold support for some time, but it then broke through solidly. It was about a 1.7% or something of a gain, which is amazing. So where's it heading now? I think Forex is going to head, I'm going to skip the day because so if I look into the weekly, Forex could possibly head towards the purple line, which is the 20 period, touch this and then possibly fall down again. I would still hold on my trades. You could look at a small mini buying opportunity and try to ride it until this level. But my rule of thumb is never trade in the opposite direction, because you never know how much the trade will actually head in that direction. But I think, this is where it's heading towards the 0.65424 mark. Let's look at the British pound. British pound too, very strong positive territory. I think the new Prime Minister has made a change there that, it's just him coming into it has caused a good positive shift in it. Let's see how long it'll last. So would you buy this at this level? You could, if maybe wait for next week, because it may just kind of touch. So what I'm expecting is that it may just touch this level again and then go up. Because of such a good strong downtrend, and then it's bounced its way from there. It's hard to really say for a fact. And the euro too. The euro is also basically brothers sisters to the British pound. So it's showing good positive direction. It could possibly just breathe for some time before making another high. I would not buy it at this level, because say tomorrow it just falls down again, you lost. So avoid that. But it's again up to you. You decide what's your best way of like, or your strategy of trading, make sure it aligns with it, and then decide on your buy and sell values. Now this 1 year, the market's shown a bottom. It is trying to move up. This is the Canadian dollar. If you not noticed, it's MCD, is micro Canadian dollar. It is heading into the positive territory, touching on the 50 period, or it's getting closer to the 50 period moving average line. That's where it would possibly head towards, the 50 period. So what you can notice here is that there are different, they're all compared against the US dollar, but there are some that are more stronger and there are some that are just weaker against the dollar, and there's a race to the top. But a lot of them are trending in the same direction, all are moving positive. There could be a few like the yen, Japanese yen, that may be turning negative, but a lot of them are trading in the positive direction. So that's just my insights into like, how the markets are performing. What do I feel could possibly happen in the next couple days? It's a lot of I guess uncertainty right now because it's just changing direction. I'm hoping or anticipating that the markets may turn again, maybe to the lower in a few days or maybe next week, and that's what I'm looking for, to get into the market at a good point. However, I have been seeing the markets today, some are showing like signs that there could be a small trend change, but keep an eye on the weekly, because the weekly would give you good insights into how much of upward room is available, how much of lower downward room is available, and that'll give you a better direction on how the stocks are performing. So I hope this was helpful. Do stay tuned. I'll try to post a daily update and give you like insights into how the market's performing, share some insights into the future of this week, and also thoughts and tricks about trading as well. So with that, I wish you a positive and a happy and successful trading journey ahead, and stay tuned and see you in another video.